Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday, September 11th. Irma is now classified as a tropical storm. Latest readings at 11 a.m. The maximum sustained winds at 65 miles per hour. It continues to move towards southwestern Georgia. It is located over the north central part of Florida. It will continue to gradually weaken over the next 24 hours or so and head towards the Tennessee Valley. At that point in time, it'll run into an atmospheric roadblock. Will not really make much advancement beyond the Tennessee Valley because of that roadblock in the upper atmosphere over the northeast U.S. Some showers certainly can make it into the mid-Atlantic region. Do not expect a heavy rain event in the mid-Atlantic region from the remains of Irma, but because of that stalling pattern, it could be an extended period of a threat for showers anytime from Tuesday night, tomorrow night, through the day on Thursday, perhaps even into Friday as well. Well, we have another hurricane to monitor now, Jose. Here is Jose. It is a Category 2 storm right now, and this is the very impressive latest satellite image of Tropical Storm Irma. Well, let's take a look at the latest National Hurricane Center map showing the exact locations of Irma and Jose. There is another wave way over in the eastern part of the Atlantic right here. But here's Jose, Category 2 as of the latest reading out. Earlier in the weekend, it was actually all the way up to a Category 4, so it has undergone some weakening in the last 48 to 72 hours or so. The latest maximum sustained winds, 105 miles per hour, and it's moving to the north at 9 miles per hour with a central pressure of 968. It's actually stronger now than what remains of Irma. Irma, again, as mentioned earlier, located over north central Florida, will head into southwestern Georgia as a tropical storm. Maximum sustained winds at 11 a.m., 65 miles per hour, central pressure 975. Again, continuing to move north-northwest. At some point soon, it'll start to turn to the northwest right into the Tennessee Valley. Well, here's the official track forecasted for Irma from here on out. Over the weekend, Irma skirted with the north coast of Cuba. It actually touched Cuba as a Category 5. Cuba itself, the interaction with the landmass, northern part of Cuba, weakened it down to a Category 3. Once Irma moved out over the open waters again early in the weekend over the Florida Straits, it strengthened back to a Category 4. Never did regain Category 5 status, fortunately. It then rode right over the lower Keys early Sunday and right up along the western side of Florida. Perhaps one of the hardest hit areas was Naples, Florida. A wind gust clocked there at 142 miles per hour. Again, the current location over north central Florida. It'll start to turn more to the northwest over the next few hours, continue to weaken gradually, and pretty much stall out and dissipate in the Tennessee Valley. Again, there's a blocking pattern up over the northeast U.S. that will prevent the actual remains from moving any farther north in the Tennessee Valley. It basically tends to loop around and dissipate in this region. Again, Irma can throw some showers into the mid-Atlantic region tomorrow night, Wednesday, and Thursday. Do not expect a heavy rain event from the remains of Irma here in the mid-Atlantic region. Well, now that Irma has weakened to a tropical storm, its inland should continue its further weakening at this point. Attention turns to Jose. Again, hurricane status 2 right now. It will do some strange things over the next few days, basically take an erratic pattern, a looping type of pattern, but then eventually by the end of this week, going into the weekend, it will start a more northwest, a more consistent track to the north and west. Eventually, the middle or latter part of next week, 7 to 10 days out, it certainly poses a threat for the mid-Atlantic coastline, anywhere from North Carolina up to Virginia, even New Jersey and New England will have to be watched in 7 to 10 days or so. Again, that's speculation at this point, but it certainly is on the table. Again, an erratic path over the next few days, but ultimately it'll take a northwest track towards the east coast. And here is that looping pattern here. But then by the latter part of this week, going into the weekend, it'll start a more consistent path to the north and west towards the U.S. East Coast. Could even strengthen again at the end of this week, going into the weekend. Again, category status 2 right now. Eventually, it may be a concern from North Carolina northward. We're talking about the middle or latter part of next week. Well, let's walk through the GFS model. This is from 6Z in 6-hour increments. We'll focus in on Irma and Jose. First, let's just walk through quickly, showing the ultimate path of Irma. And again, here's Irma right here. Let's just focus in on that as we push forward here. Notice, drives into southwestern Georgia, then continues on a northwest track towards northern Alabama, going right over the Huntsville, Alabama region, for example. Could produce some heavy rainfall in that area. Then it tends to stall out over Tennessee and basically loop back around until it finally dissipates. Again, some showers can move into the Mid-Atlantic region anytime from Tuesday night into the day on Thursday, but do not expect a heavy rain event in D.C., Philadelphia, and New York City from the remains of Irma. Now, let's start back at the beginning here and go back and look at Jose. It's kind of an interesting path, to say the least. Here's Jose, the beginning of this period. That's right now, early Monday. Let's just push ahead in 6-hour increments. There goes Jose. Now watch, it'll take kind of a looping pattern here. Again, we're moving in 6-hour increments. It tends to move out and then back, loops back around. And then at the end of this week, we're now into the Friday time period here. This is about September 15th. According to the last night's GFS model run, it starts to take a pretty consistent track towards the Mid-Atlantic coastline and even tends to curve back in during the early to middle part of next week. And let's just keep moving forward in 6-hour increments. And here you go. The GFS is certainly sending out a signal that we have to watch Jose. And again, it looks like Jose will take a looping track over the next several days, and then by this weekend start on a more of a consistent track to the north and west towards the U.S. East Coast. Ultimately, 7 to 10 days or so, and this particular forecast map is for next Wednesday, the 20th of September. Jose could pose a threat to the coastline, let's say from North Carolina up to Virginia, New Jersey, and even ultimately New England. So we'll focus on Jose over the next several days. The tropics remain quite active, and they should this time of the year. Again, the climatological peak is right around September 10th, so we're right there right now at the climatological peak of the Atlantic Basin tropical season. That's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.